I will fasten thy nature with my constant strength, subdue to my delight the spirit's limbs, and make thee a vivid knot of all my bliss, and build in thee my proud and crystal home. Thy day shall be my shafts of power and light. That was not there, that rather, at least I will say, that was not seen by Satyavan in perfect Savitri. That his day shall be his shafts of power and light. Thine eyes, my starry mysteries of joy, and all my clouds lie tangled in the hair. Savitri is a beautiful girl, and in the cloud net of her hair, as if the god of love can come and rest in it, as if it is resting in its nest. So the cloud net of hair is a nest for the god of love as a bird coming and sitting there. That is what we have in the boon and the vision, cloud net of hair, see. And all my clouds lie tangled in the hair, and all my spring tides marry in thy mouth, O sunward. That is what Savitri means. Savitri, etymologically, in Sanskrit, means the issue of Savitra. Savitra. The issue of Savitra is Savitra, and feminine is Savitri. The sun god, his issue as a daughter is Savitri. And therefore, O sunward, she is really born of the solar deity. She is born of the solar deity, the splendid sunlight, the supramental light. O sunward, thou shalt raise the earth's soul to light. Who else can do that? Who else can raise the earth's soul to light? If not the power of supermind itself. Sunward is the power of the supermind. And it is that power alone who can raise the earth's soul to light. And bring down God into the lives of men. So again, same thing, what we have been seeing earlier also. Double. First, raise this world and bring down. This is what Savitri was saying earlier. Earth shall be my work chamber, and my house, my garden of life, to a plant seed divine. My garden of life to plant a seed divine. Earth shall be my work chamber and my house, okay. My garden of life to plant a seed divine. That is what Savitri will be. Ashwapati received the boon from the Divine Mother, the vision and the boon towards the end. Okay, let us read this part. 91.6. How Savitri is described by the Divine Mother herself. She says, she is granting a boon to Savitri. Yes, I will come in this form, with these attributes, with these qualities, I will come down here. She says, all mights and greatnesses shall join in her. All mights and greatnesses shall join in her. Beauty shall walk celestial on earth. Delight shall sleep in the cloudnet of her hair, in the cloudnet of her delight shall sleep, and in her body, as on his homing tree, immortal love shall beat its glorious wing. So the bird of love will come and come and sit in that nest. A music of griefless things shall wave her charm. The harps of the perfect shall attune her voice. Now that is the perfection here now, you see. The streams of heaven shall murmur in her love. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. Her limbs is golden jars of ecstasy. He's describing, you see, her breast, the raptured flowers of paradise. And then he says, she shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. This is the wisdom she is now having. She is really possessing that wisdom, and that is how she is arguing with the Supreme in that wisdom. She shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword, a defeatless strength with a diamond hilt. And from her eyes the eternal bliss shall give. And then we have here the most significant thing. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. My garden of life to plant a seed divine is what we hear. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. This is the death's tremendous hour. That hour has come. The Supreme is now giving the boon to Savitri here. That tremendous hour has come here. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. A branch of heaven transplant to human soil. My garden of life to plant a seed divine. A branch of heaven transplant to human soil. So, there is a kind of a harmonious unity in the entire description of Savitri. Everywhere you find that kind of a relationship, you see. Nothing is missed, you see. My garden of life to plant a seed divine, when all thy work in human time is done. Now this is again a very puzzling line. When all thy work in human time is done, I hope it will be done soon.
Join you.
Huh?
We join you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in other words, what he is saying basically is, look, all this long preparation of cycles of time through which the processes have been moving, it is that which is carrying out his work in human time. And being carried out by whom? By her. When all thy work in human time is done, the mind of earth shall be home of light, the life of earth, a tree growing towards heaven. The body of earth, a tabernacle of God. So that will be the thing. The body itself will become the temple for God to come and stay there. The physical will receive the divine and remain. In other words, what is going to happen after the human time is over? These are the things which will happen. These are things which will happen when the work in human time is done. Awakened from the mortal's ignorance, man shall be lit with the eternal ray, and the glory of my sun lift in their thought, and feel in their heart the sweetness of my love, and in their acts my power's miraculous drive. Well, he goes on rapturously, let's move on. Thou shalt bear all things, that all things may change. Thou shalt fill all with my splendor and my bliss. Thou shalt meet all with my transmuting soul. That is the oneness with the collective, with the creation, with everybody. A vision shall compel thy coursing breath. Thy heart shall drive thee on the wheel of works. Thy mind shall urge thee to the flames of thought, to meet me in the abyss and on the heights, to feel me in the tempest and the calm, and love me in the noble and the vile, in beautiful thing and terrible desire. Well, this man is aware of the opposites, of the abyss and height, of the tempest and the calm, of the noble and the vile, of the beautiful and the terrible. The Supreme is aware of it. That does not mean that he is standing there helplessly. It is she who has to do the work, first in human time and then in the divine time. The supramental time vision has to open out and work is dynamic. The supramental time vision is a long chapter in the synthesis of yoga, running into pages and pages of it. You see. What is going to happen in the supramental time vision? These will be joined together. In other words, what we have been calling death versus life, what we have been calling pain versus bliss, falsehood versus truth, inconscience versus consciousness, they are not really so. They are not really verses. They are not opposites. Consciousness has become inconscience. In other words, behind that inconscience, there is the presence of that consciousness itself. It is hidden, it is kept secret, away from our view. Therefore, it appears to us inconscious. But who is there behind life, behind death? You have seen behind death, after all, it is the Supreme Himself who is there. When Savitri removed that mask which the Supreme had taken and showed Himself as death, that mask is removed, and who stands? The Supreme Himself. That vileness which is there, what you see here, it is not that. Behind that is the noble. Behind the terrible is the beautiful. It is there all along. And then my work begins with that. The pains of hell shall be to thee my kiss. You see. The flowers of heaven persuade thee with my touch. Delight shall drop down from my nectarous moon. What a beautiful poetic line. Delight shall drop down from my nectarous moon. Soma, Ananda, flowing down from moon. Moon stands for Soma, Ananda. My fragrance sees thee in the jasmine's snare. My eyes shall look upon thee from the sun. Mirror of nature's secret spirit made, thou shalt reflect my hidden heart of joy. Yes, that's the whole thing. Behind death, it is I who am standing, but it is you who will reveal me behind death. In my dreadful hands laid on thy bosom shall force thy being bathed in fiercest longings stream. Thou shalt discover the one and quivering note, and cry the harp of all my melodies, and roll my foaming wave in seas of love. Seas of love. And he says, even my disastrous clutch shall be to thee the ordeal of my rapturous contrary shape. Actually, for him, there is nothing like disaster. It is a way of doing certain things in a certain manner. There is no chance, there is no hazard, there is no risk in that sense. With our limited consciousness, we think like that, you see. Thou shalt not shrink from any brother soul. This is what she was asking, of course. Oneness with all. Thou shalt be attracted helplessly to all